Welcome to the Ballard Proud podcast. It seems everyone can agree that Ballard is a fantastic school district, and when asked why, the answer always includes some reference to, well, it's people and relationships. So I'm on a mission to get to know the people of Ballard and find out why everyone is so proud to be part of this district. I'm Danny Trimble, Superintendent for the Ballard District, and I'd love for you to come along with me on this journey to uncover what it means to be Ballard Proud. Welcome to this edition of Ballard Proud podcast. Our guest today is Kyle Howard, the PE coach. I'm going to try that again. PE teacher and coach here in the district. Thanks for being with us today, and you can straighten me all out as you get going with your answers.
Yeah, no, happy to be here.
So tell us about your path to the Ballard School District.
So I'm going to tell the long version, if that's okay.
I think that'd be great.
I grew up in Colorado, and then after graduating from college, was teaching back in Colorado Springs, my hometown, when I met my future wife, Jody. She was finishing up her college, and she's from Winterset originally. So once she graduated, she was looking for physical therapy schools, and she got in. The one she got in was in Dubuque. So that took us, we got married that summer and moved to Dubuque, and we spent 3 years out there. That was kind of my introduction to Iowa, other than just visiting her family in Winterset. So we lived out there for 3 years. I was fortunate to get a PE teaching job out there, and enjoyed our time out there. But then as she was getting ready to graduate, we knew we kind of wanted to get back to more central Iowa to be closer to some family. So as that spring, when job openings started coming open, I really didn't know much about I knew Dubuque, I knew Winterset, I knew Des Moines was the big one. So I didn't know, Boone from Bondurant or Pella from Perry. And so I was really leaning on Jody for, what would be good jobs to apply for, when things came open. And she would always talk about Huxley and how great Huxley was. And to the point where I would tease her about it. I'm like, oh, how great Huxley is. And, being a conference school with Winterset, she had been up here and competed and all that. And so, finally, more postings are starting to come through, and one at Ballard comes open. And of course, you can't find Ballard on a map, but I go home and told her that, there's an opening at Ballard. She's like, that's Huxley. And so she was excited. And as I researched the position and the community, I fell even more in love with it than she did. And so I was fortunate enough to get an interview, and drove out. On my way back to Dubuque that day, I got a call from John Ronca offering me the position, and I was thrilled to accept, and been here ever since.
Yeah, thanks for that background. And for our listeners, how long has that been?
So we've been here, been at Ballard as my 9th year. So I like to think I'm one of the young teachers still, but then I get around some of our actual young teachers and I realize that I'm not.
Yeah, it seems like a small number, but it's not. That's remarkable. Yeah. So thinking back now, I'm going to give you lots of options, either as a student or as a teacher, as an employee, however you want to take this. What's your most memorable experience of school?
The truth is, this was probably my hardest question to think of an answer for. I come from a family of educators. My parents were teachers. My uncle, my grandmother, my kid sister just started her first year teaching this year. And so, and I think like most of us in education, you choose to get an education because you had a really positive experience in school. And so it's kind of hard to narrow one down. But as I thought through it, I really wanted to highlight my time in college. I went to the University of Wyoming, and I feel like had a phenomenal teacher prep program as far as PE experiences go. We had a lot of fun. I had terrific professors that taught us a lot and held us to a really high standard. And since I've been out teaching, I've been fortunate to have some practicum students or student teachers and get to experience kind of secondhand what other universities' programs look like. And it just makes me, and not that those are bad programs, but just made me really reflect on it and cherish and appreciate my professors and the experience that I had at the University of Wyoming, and it just really helped shape and mold me into the teacher I am now.
And that probably explains a piece of, you're part of a team who has spent a lot of energy working through restructuring, rewriting a PE curriculum, and I'm sure that background plays into that.
it's stuff you don't always think you're going to use. And then when, things like curriculum review roll around, you're really glad that you had some exposure and training to that.
Yeah, nice. But today is about getting to know the personal side a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over to this question actually makes me chuckle in advance because you are a busy dad and a coach. Yeah. And so dare I ask, what do you do in your spare time?
Yeah, no, that's it. You said dad and coach. That is the free time, and a lot of that overlaps. I've coached a variety of sports here at Ballard, but as our kids we've gotten older, I've stepped away from some of those, but then take on 3 and 4 year old soccer coach and first, second grade basketball coach, and so I have a few of those. No, our kids are 7, 5, and 2, and they keep us really busy. But I mean, even when we're not doing sports, we like to be outside, riding bikes or going on hikes. We've got a big backyard we love to play, and we really like to host, having people over, friends and family. And I've got a smoker. I love to smoke meats and entertain. And so it makes it when like today, like as the weather's changing, it makes it a little harder because we really like being outside.
Not today.
No, not today.
No. What's on your playlist? I love to get inside this thought process of people.
Yeah, I really wish it would give you more of an insight to me and not just the age of my kids. My wife and I, when we used to have Spotify and used to, at the end of the year, you always like to see your Spotify rewind to think, oh, what did I listen to this year? And now it's just full of Disney songs, princesses, Frozen, Moana, Encanto, and some Sunday school songs, but it's not as exciting as it used to be to listen to the rewind because it's a lot of little kids sing-alongs.
Good for you. That's really great stuff right there. What do you think would surprise people to learn about you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty open book. And so this was kind of a tough one, but I think, I coming from Colorado Springs, is about the size of Des Moines. I was very much a city kid. And so this more rural setting of Iowa was very new to me. I love it now. But I think a surprising thing is this last spring, my family and I, we got chickens. So Slater will let you have chickens. So we have 8 egg laying hens that we got this spring, and it's been a blast. The kids they know they have some chicken chores to take care of them, but we get fresh eggs every day, and the kids love them. And I mean, they're kind of like pets, and then you get the added bonus of some eggs. And so if you had told me, 10 years ago that I'd live in tiny Slater and own chickens and have a big garden, I would not have believed you. But I love where we're at now, and that's being not a farmer, but having some chickens has been a lot of fun.
It's the good life, isn't it?
It is.
All right, Kyle. Last question: what makes you most proud when you think about the Ballard School District?
Yeah, there's a lot, and I think what speaks to this the most for me was our experience with derecho. And 4 years ago now, it was wild for everyone in this area, and we weren't, strangers to that. We didn't have power for 10 days, and we have an old house that has some quirks, but with an old house, you get really big trees. And so, which are great all the time, except for when you have a derecho. So we lost several big trees, but what was really neat was seeing not just for me at our place, but as a whole community, was people coming together. And so we had, like I said, we have a big lot with big old trees, and we lost 3 trees and a bunch of limbs. And we had a slew of football boys come by and some neighbors and family, and they cleared my lot in probably 20 minutes. And then just grabbed, took all their chainsaws and everything and just went to my neighbors and did the same thing. Mm-hmm. And, for a week was just a chorus of chainsaws and generators and people driving around and bringing meals or waters and to the people working. And it was just really neat to see a community come together to support each other in a time of need. And it just excites me to be a part of that community, to have to raise my kids in a community like that. And there's no place I'd rather be.
I know this community is glad for the same thing, and that you are raising your family here and a part of the Ballard family. So thanks for making time to let us get to know you a little bit more today.
Absolutely. It was fun.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ballard Proud. There's more to come as we dive into what it means to be Ballard Proud. Until next time, I'm Superintendent Danny Trimble, and I hope you have a great day.